2 moms,
4 kids,
nearly gave birth in the car,
1 failed epidural.
still breastfeeding.
We're tackling parenthood 1 dirty diaper at a time. Hi everyone, I'm Carla and this is Bianca, and we're 2 rookie moms that want to share our real and raw parenting journey with you.
In our first video, we dive deep into our 4 unique birth experiences, but also to show you how every birth experience can be so different.
So let's get started. So, Bianca, how was it giving birth in Vietnam? Please share.
So, super interesting. Being my first child, I had no idea what to expect. And there was very few people that could actually speak English. Obviously, with them not really speaking English, it was quite intimidating. I would always just look like, there's a heartbeat, it's moving, like that's happening. So I was 34 weeks when I went into labor. Wow. I woke up at like 2 in the morning and I went to the toilet and I just saw like a puddle. And I was like, what is that? And Liam was like, yeah, let's go. So unprepared. Yeah, and
was a baby?
Yeah, so I had like a baby bag and stuff, but obviously not fully packed because it was the 34 weeks. Actually 33 and a half weeks, but the week before I had such an intense dream of my womb. And I literally saw my baby in the womb and I just had this feeling. I was like, I feel like he's gonna come, but I know it's too early. I went to the doctor, everything was fine. And like 2 days later, I went into labor. So we didn't have a car in Vietnam because as a foreigner, you don't drive a car there. Like you either have a motorbike or take like Ubers, Bolts, that type of thing. And it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and my contractions just started coming in. I woke up, my water broke, and 5 minutes later, I was getting contractions like 2 minutes apart. I wanted to do a shower and wash my hair still. I need to be clean. And then we had to phone a taxi service. And this guy's like, no. And I'm like, what do I say to this guy? I'm like, I'm in labor, like you need to come fetch us. And this guy's just talking Vietnamese and Liam's like, Embe, like baby. Yeah. The guy was there like 5 minutes later and he literally sped to the hospital.
Really?
Yeah. And we got to the hospital and it was pitch black. Like it was like seemed empty, like there was no one there.
Because it was in the middle of the night.
Middle of the night, yeah. And I just remember going into this room and I was like, what is happening? Like, are they gonna give me medication to stop the birth? Like I had no idea what to expect. And then the lady was like, you're 7 centimeters dilated. He's coming in broken English. So I'm thinking, what? Got me a wheelchair, they pushed me in a wheelchair and I just see delivery room. It's like Vietnamese and then in small it says delivery room underneath and I'm like, no, it can't be. Obviously so thrown back by everything that's happening. They put me on the bed, then my feet go up and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, like this is happening. Like Liam, is it time? He's like, So I'm like, why are you doing that? He's like, I can see the head push. What? No, it can't be. Like it's, yeah.
Do you feel like you weren't in that much pain?
I was, but
okay.
I think because everything was so new to me, I was in a foreign country.
Did you expect it to be worse?
No, like it was
bad enough.
It was bad, yeah. But I think it's because it was 34 weeks. Yeah, but literally I was so lucky. I think I pushed 3 times right from that moment when Liam told me to push and he was born. I mean, in terms of pain, I would be like, whoa, like that was painful. But also I know some people that have spent hours and hours in labor. I'm not sure about you, but you can tell me just now. And then I thought he would stay in the hospital afterwards because he was prem. But he was so fully grown, healthy. Like, so I think that was what my dream was actually about. He was 2.3. Tiny, like so tiny, oh my word. So obviously now there was no one to help me with like breastfeeding, no one could speak English properly. So that was very overwhelming for me, not having my family or anybody there. She literally told me if we left the house 5 minutes later, I would have given birth in the car. Like it just happened so quickly. And I just remember them giving him to me afterwards and I was like, what do I do with him? Like, can I have him now or does he still belong to you? Like I had no idea what to do. I YouTubed everything, how to bath a baby, how to... So it was obviously super overwhelming, but at the end I feel like it made me so much stronger and more resilient in my motherhood journey. Like because I had no additional help and no one to kind of tell me what I can and can't do, we figured everything out together. So that was cool. I just remember crying the whole way home. Because we had to get a taxi home and I had this tiny baby, no family. Liam had to go back to work, not even a car seat because we did have a car seat, but not like in the car. It was just one of those carry. Yeah, it was beautiful. And once I tell you about my second birth in South Africa, like my medical care in Vietnam was just out of this world. Like I'm not sure if it's because I was a foreigner or what, but it was so good. Like the way they take care of you and clean you and just everything. Like that was amazing. I suppose if I could speak Vietnamese at the time, it would have been even better.
So the medical care is great.
The medical care is great, So that's the first, who is now 4 years old. And the second one is 2, but we'll jump back to that just now. I want to hear about your first birth.
Okay, so I'm going to start with how we found out. So we were in Bali on holiday, kind of like pre-honeymoon, I would say.
Bali does things.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we came back. Singapore closed like 12 hours later, closed their borders because of COVID. So no flights in and out, so we just made it home. And we come back Sunday, and the Thursday we go into hard lockdown. So it was a very scary time, I think, for the whole world, that 21 days of lockdown. And in these 21 days, I was very regular on my period, so I noticed, okay, I'm like 3 days late, like this is weird. I went to go take a test, but kind of like as a joke, and like straight positive, like straight away. So now we're in like level 5
and you weren't sick or
lockdown.
anything?
Nothing at that point.
Okay.
But both my pregnancies, the sickness only started at 6 weeks, and I found out obviously like 4 weeks in, as soon as you miss your period. So fast forward to Ayla's birth, my whole pregnancy was in COVID, so it was quite a strange pregnancy. I had a gender reveal and I had a baby shower, which was like very frowned upon. Like most people cancelled theirs, and I was so scared every time I had an event that what if everyone gets COVID, but still COVID free. Thank goodness. Yeah, so with Ayla, she was born at 38 weeks. I wouldn't say anything was weird at the end, but I didn't know that my water broke. So I had like a partial break. So it happened on a Monday morning on my way to clients, 7 a.m. And we lived on the fourth story. No, but all my clients.
So you were gonna go do a training, like a fitness training.
I trained them, but
your water had broken.
Yeah. So we lived on the 4th story. Ayla, I carried very low, or both my parents, but Ayla was low. So I did leak every now and then. I'm not gonna lie, like if I walked downstairs too fast or like I was squat too quickly. So I was driving to this client. As I'm driving, I'm like, geez man, like I know I've leaked, but I'm like down to my knees, like, oh, this is weird. So when I got there, I was like, hey girls, like they're both moms, they're both leaked and had babies. So I'm like, just tell me if you can see something, because I'm standing in the street and I don't want people driving by being like, what happened to that chick? Tell me if you can see anything, but I feel like a little bit weird today. And they were like, that's our water's broke. We think you need to have it checked out. So we did our session, did a few more online clients. Called my gynae in at 1 p.m. She's like, okay, come in. Went in and she's like, it's a partial break. Baby's going to come in like the next 24 to 48 hours. Like your water has broken. You are effaced, but you're not dilated yet. It's like, go home, go rest. So I cancel everyone, notify everyone baby's coming. So now Tuesday comes around. Now Tuesday I need to go for my COVID test. I'm having contractions the whole time, by the way, but very light.
Like almost like that Brixton
Braxton
X. What did I say? Brixton X.
Braxton X. Like they don't become worse, they don't become more frequent, they just kind of come and go. Because I remember driving to my COVID test and my one leg just went brave, and I was like, ooh, a numb leg. Yeah, because there's a contraction, and I was like, probably shouldn't be driving. But so now I'm like sitting at this COVID thing, probably 50 people in front of me, they're having contractions. Like by Tuesday night, it stopped completely. So Wednesday I wake up, nothing's happened. I feel like such an idiot for letting everyone know, because now you're getting 100 messages an hour. Baby, here you have no contractions, no signs, everything stopped. So I called the gynae and she's like, I want you to come in for an induction tomorrow. I didn't want to be induced because I wanted to do like pain medication free. I was like overthinking and panicking too much, but that whole night I lied awake and I was like, this is a mistake. What if she's not ready? Like, why am I rushing this? Why am I getting an induction only 38 weeks? Like, there's actually no reason. Like, I'm not 42 weeks. Maybe I shouldn't listen to the doctor and I should just like wait. But yeah, so like at 12 p.m. I think my COVID results came through. It was negative. So I was like, oh, you know what? Let's just get this over with. Like, I'm over it now. Let's just go. So it was a very calm morning. Getting ready, driving to the hospital, getting to the hospital. You go to the room. I think they gave me Pitocin. So it's like literally, it looks like a little shot glass.
Yeah.
It tastes like water. It looks like water. My first one was at 7
So does that bring the labor on?
Yeah, that's supposed to like kickstart it. So they gave me that at 7 a.m. Nothing happened. And then 8 a.m.
She was literally just chilling in there.
Yeah, everyone's just chilling. We're like, oh, this is great. And then 8 a.m. they came to break my water, which she didn't warn me about. I think the gynae just came in and said, I just want to check how dilated you are. And then suddenly she was like, put a stick up there or like a little whatever
Oh,
it
that's
is.
the worst, yeah.
And it was so painful. Like I literally almost crawled off the bed. And I know that moment, me and JD made eye contact and it wasn't, are we getting the epidural? It's when are we getting the epidural? And everything that came out was like
moss green.
like my meconium, or the meconium was in the water. It was so infected and they were like, baby needs to come out now. Like now. I need to do a C-section. I was like, nope. Like, I don't know why I said no, because at this point I'm like, I'm here to trust the doctor, but I think I had so many plan B's in my head and the C-section wasn't one of them. I was like, no. And then they gave me...
I wonder how long it was like that for though.
So I don't know if it was because of the stress. So that's why if your water partially breaks, I think like the pH in the water changes and that's why you have 24 hours. But because I was going longer than 48 hours. So obviously my heart sank because now I'm like, oh, why did I go so long? Like this has been my own stubbornness. Like I knew something was wrong, but I wouldn't trust my gut because I thought I was having like stomach cramps because of like stress. It was so gross. And honestly, what no one tells you is it comes out the whole day. It's not like a gush of water. I was having that green water leave my body that whole day with blood, with everything else. I blamed myself. I was like, why didn't I listen to my body? Why didn't I listen to the doctor? Now she's in danger. 9 a.m. we had another shot of Pitocin. Slowly started, and then 11 a.m. and another one. So there's been 3 inductions, but now at 11 a.m. it kicked off. Like it kicked off. The contractions went from 0 to 100 real fast. It was like, how's your contraction? 6 out of 10. In 2 minutes, I was like, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Yeah, so I asked for the epidural like 2 hours later. I was facing posterior, so I have to having back contractions, not stomach. So it's like you couldn't move around, and if I tried to sit on the ball, every time I got a contraction, everything would tighten. So I think I struggled for like 2 hours and we were like, it's not worth it. Also because I saw it was only 6 centimeters by then and I knew it was going to get so much worse. Yeah. My doctor walked like straight in, gave me the epidural. Once the epidural was in, the contractions were gone. I went from I can't do this to like, oh, this is cool in like 5 minutes. It was quite fast. I thought I was
gonna take some time. So how long were you in labor for?
So then I got another induction at 1. The last one was at 3 and she was born at 4 o'clock. They were speeding it up a lot. I don't think it's normal to get 5 inductions 2 hours apart. It was really like, we need to get this baby out. Gynae came in, checked, she said, okay, you're 9 centimeters. She said, okay, I'm just gonna go do a C-section. When I come back, we're having this baby. And I'm looking over at JD, we're like, yeah.
When you come back?
Yeah, so we're like, cool, okay. I have the epidural, I'm like living my best life. Having a baby seemed like, whoa, it just like, I don't know, it hit me. And then the nurse is like, did you do like birth calls? I was like, no. Do you know how to push? No. Do you want to try? I'm like, okay. And I pushed 3 times and she came out.
So you were still practice pushing?
I was practice pushing, like that core training, like the core training worked. They did use a vacuum and they did do an episiotomy, but I don't know how in those 3 pushes they did it. Because I feel like I watched the whole thing and I never saw them do that. So because she was posterior, they had to use the vacuum just to get her through a dip apparently. So that's why it was also only 3 pushes because so the nurse did everything. The nurse was still this side bringing that vacuum thing closer and I feel like Ayla was out. But yeah, the gynae and the pediatrician grabbed her and they had to like suck everything out of her and like it was a very
traumatic.
Comparing to my second birth now, that was actually not the best way to be born. I mean, I feel sad for her. She was like in your stomach the one moment and the next moment she's like
being back
covered in green stuff and being like shaken upside down and poked and sucked and I mean I was just chilling there like, oh, baby's born, and JD, I think he was like, this is not normal. And then like
what just happened?
Yeah, poor baby. And I took her to the side and then she was fine. And they brought her back to latch and she drank for like 45 minutes and so this was private medical, so they cleaned you and everything was like really peaceful. So that's Ayla's quick Thursday. Went in the morning.
Get quick.
She came out.
No, I feel like that's long. Like anything that takes longer than 2 or 3 hours, I'm like. How did you cope?
Prepared for a marathon. My whole pregnancy, I was like, I've done a half marathon before, I can do this. Like, it's
actually, that's I think why my first birth was so confusing for me, because I'd always heard that women are in labor and it takes like hours and days, and it happened. Like I didn't even have time for an epidural. So for me, it was like, how is this?
To process.
Yeah, it's just to process. Yeah. So Hayes was born in South Africa. Lockdown happened the next week. We had to come back from Vietnam because of lockdown. We were working there, but things just changed drastically very quickly. I think Vietnam's one of the first places that actually were affected. Yeah. And I was 34 weeks actually. And I thought, okay, I gave birth to Noah at 34 weeks. So like, what does that mean? And we had booked this birth package at the same hospital that I gave birth at the first time. They had their first 3 cases of COVID and the whole hospital closed down. And I was like, okay, then we lost our jobs because of COVID. So the hospital is closed. We don't have like incoming salary.
Limited flights left.
Limited, yeah, because I'm also like 34 weeks and that's obviously when I gave birth. So we're like, do we go home or do we stay? Yeah. And we decided to go home. We don't want to be stuck with no work. That can go very wrong. So we booked a flight. I had to go for tons of scans and tests because I was so far along. I wasn't actually supposed to be flying. We got home 3 weeks later, I only went into labor. So with Hayes, for the second one, yeah, it was 38 weeks, like on the dot. Same kind of vibe. My water never broke, but I had contractions, and my contractions also started they started and they just went. Yeah, I had like one moment in the shower where I was like, did my water break? No, it couldn't have been. And then the contractions came like way later, but I had a feeling it was like close. But that was actually quite traumatic for me because we came home. We hadn't had like anything booked at a hospital. We had no birth plan. We had nothing. So I had to give birth in a public hospital.
So you didn't have like your doctor?
No, I had no specific doctor to see, nothing. I just knew that I was going to give birth very soon. I went for like one checkup at this hospital and I was horrified. I was like, I have to give birth here. But I kind of just went with it. I was like, it's too late now. You gotta just stick through. Yeah, and so the morning when I went into labor, it was peak hour traffic. It was like 7:30 coming into town because the hospital was in this area. I don't want to mention the name because of what I'm going to tell you next. So got to the hospital. Eventually, after like hooting at people were hooting at us, and we like, as it's on and driving in the yellow lane, and people actually block you. They blocked us from going down the yellow lane until they knew that it was actually for a reason. Yeah. So got to the hospital. Obviously it wasn't the most amazing hospital because it's a public hospital, and I'm like sitting in the waiting room and my contractions are coming in hot and they didn't check me yet. Okay, so they're just making me sit there. There's like 2 other people also waiting in this waiting room. So firstly I can hear people screaming and I'm like, what are they doing to them in there? So there's like a ward, but the labor ward is in this ward. Okay, so I'm still like in the waiting area of this like ward basically. And this lady's standing there and I said to her, can you check me please? And she's like, no, just chill, you've got time. Okay, so I left it and it just started getting like, I was like, I'm in pain. I can't sit like this on the chair. It was like a hard chair. I was like, I can't sit like this. Please check me. Check what's happening. This is
like
not
the pressure down
yes,
there, like the head is crying.
Exactly. And I'm like, this is not my first birth.
Yeah.
Like I know that it's time. Please check me. Relax, girl. Relax. And I'm like, how can you tell me to relax? Like I can feel I'm in active labor. She's like, the women that are in there have been in labor for hours. You still have time. Like this, eh? Like speaking to me like that. Like, okay. So I'm like, can I at least just lay because I feel uncomfortable. So I lay and they put those like monitoring things, this waiting monitoring room. And so they leave the room. So I'm laying there by myself with all these like things on. And I can see every time I get a contraction, I'm watching the screen and it's literally just going, help me, please, something's happening. No one. So eventually I turn into a common person. I'm like, help me!
Don't worry, that was me.
Shouting. Shouting like a crazy person. And this woman walks in again and she tells me, she's like, can you just relax? And I turned around and I said, check me right now. I will give you a reason to shout at me. Like, when you just know, you know. They check me, so they're watching the thing. She's like, okay, that is quite intense. I'm like, I could have told you that.
Yeah.
They check me, 9 centimeters dilated.
Baby's coming.
Please, she's like, please get up and walk to the other room. The labor ward is full, so we need to put you on that bed because there's too much people here for you to give birth. They take me from one waiting room into another public room. Walking, 9 centimeters dilated. I'm literally like holding the baby in. They put me on the bed. Liam's not allowed in.
No.
Not because of COVID, because there's no room in the labor ward. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is not okay. Like, how can you not let him in? I need him here. Like, I need to. They're like, no, sorry, there's no time. We're not allowed letting men in this ward because it's like public. Like, okay, you just got to do this. This is now in your hands. Yeah. Put me on a bed. There's nothing around me. Like, it's like, you know, when you go to a day hospital, nothing birth related there.
Yeah.
They have no tools, no nothing. Okay, I can't hold it in anymore. They're like, you have to, like, hold it in.
Why? To wait for who?
Just to get on the bed. I'm like he's gonna fall out. First push, he's already coming out. They're like, stop pushing the cords around his neck. Okay, like, you know how much it takes for you to stop pushing in that moment. She's like, oh wait, we don't have any scissors or anything yet. Just hold on.
Just hold on.
Oh my word. So anyway, eventually it happens. As Hayes is born, they're like, okay, dad, come in for a second just to make sure you're okay. They let him in for half a second, literally half a minute, tell him to go in. The lady stands there and she's like, so it hasn't even been 5 minutes, eh? They haven't weighed him, they haven't done anything yet. She's like, we're just gonna weigh him, get up and get dressed, then you must dress him and get up because we need this bed. From Vietnam and having them bath, dress, clean myself and Noah. Now I'm in this hospital, cleaning myself, changing myself, putting clothes on him that's not even fully cleaned yet. Yeah, and then you need to go wait in that room. So they give me this little baby bed. I had to push him myself after just giving birth into this other room. And they're like, just sit on the chair, we'll be with you now. A plastic chair, they made me sit there for 5 hours before there was a bed available for me. Liam wasn't allowed in, so there I am. Like, luckily it was my second birth. Honestly, if it was my first birth, I think I would have died. Like, I just sat there. I've got this tiny human next to me that's just come into the world in like a bed. So they weighed him just before I'd swapped the room. Like, everything was fine. He was fine. But obviously I was nervous because firstly the cord was around his neck at first. And I was so thrown back. How can my experience of like giving birth abroad be almost 150% better than giving? And anyway, I spoke to like a few moms afterwards who had given birth in South Africa in a public hospital, and my story wasn't even the worst. Like, luckily mine was quick because they treat you never again. Like, I will sell my soul.
You're just like another person.
Yeah, you're just another person. And the next day you go home, or like 2 or 3 days once you've like gone to the bathroom for the first time.
Okay, so they keep you overnight.
They keep you overnight, yeah.
As well.
That was
Staying
traumatizing.
there,
No, crazy. Like, I can't even explain.
South Africa Public Hospital wouldn't
No,
recommend.
do not do it. And I didn't actually realize, because it was my second, life was so rushed at the time, like moving back to South Africa and COVID and trying to like figure things out. Only like a few weeks later, I was thinking about the birth experience and I realized like that was not normal at all. Like what you just went through,
a few weeks later.
And then the more I told people about it, they were like, that is traumatizing. Like, are you okay? I was like, I'm actually fine. But the more I thought about it, I hadn't processed yet, but so crazy. Like, next time, if there is a next time, definitely not a public hospital. Like, yeah. But so you had 2 COVID births.
Are we still in COVID? So that's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Technically not, but I mean like hard COVID.
Yeah, I guess since COVID started, I've had 2 pregnancies, 2 births.
Okay.
Obviously visiting hours are still impacted, and it was the end of summer, so I think for summer our restrictions are always lighter, so that's nice. With both of them, I didn't have to wear a mask while giving birth.
Same.
So they were fine with that.
Yeah.
Lucas was born in March, so that is in 2 days, 4 months ago, which does not feels like a year ago, but it also feels like yesterday.
Yeah. So the age gap?
15 months.
Wow.
So if he came on time, it would have been 16 months, but he was a little bit early, so no.
Okay, crazy. So 15 months. Mine were 22 months. So just made the 2 under 2.
So that's why you didn't process your birth, because you went straight into 2 under 2.
Yeah.
Straight from hospital.
You almost, don't you find like, because you have a little one, you almost forget that you're pregnant the second time.
Yeah.
Like everything is just so there.
A newborn is not as overwhelming the second time because it's not so life-changing.
Yes, exactly.
First time you're like 2 people going to no sleep.
Totally new, yeah.
Where the second one just kind of slots into the routine you already have. Especially
Shame.
when the first one is so young. I know.
Also like the milestones, like I remember with Noah, I was like, this week is this big, he grew that much, like let me take a photo. And with poor Hazy, I was like, you turned 1? What?
Maybe because I'm a boy and a girl, I can still kind of
A little bit, yeah.
I do the photos, but the milestones, I mean, they're also like
Yeah.
apart, I'm not gonna lie. Not nearly close
gosh.
together. Ayla was still a little baby when she got a sibling, and also
That's crazy.
our meeting wasn't so dramatic because she didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah.
So first it was weird for her to come to hospital and see me in hospital.
Yeah.
So luckily it was cool because I actually went to go and do checks on him as she arrived. So, that was
So you
perfect
could still
timing.
give her like,
Yeah, so she arrived and I was completely by myself, but she did look at me like,
why are you
"Where
here?
are we?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Huh?" So I've got a video of her entering the hospital room and she's literally just like, then they brought the baby in, and then because they always say also like don't hold the baby when the older one meets them,
Okay.
because then they don't feel like intimidated. So when they pushed the baby in, she was like, "Oh, the baby," but she didn't realize
it was yours,
me or anything like that.
Oh, sweet.
So it was a cute
Transition.
morning,
Yeah.
it was a cute transition, and she was old enough to realize kind of, but too young to be like jealous or emotional. So it was a weird transition, but not nearly as dramatic as getting the firstborn.
Yeah.
Like,
And how was your birth the second time?
Okay, so Lucas, I was also induced. So
38 weeks.
37 weeks.
37 weeks. Okay, so he's also quite, that's like still falls under late preterm, right?
Yeah, and he was 2.8 kilograms, which the cutoff for prem is 2.8. So he was literally
He borderline. Yeah.
borderline. But same thing happened, 34 weeks, contraction started. So from 34 weeks to 37 weeks, I was having like, not the active labor, but the preterm labor contractions constantly, but not consistently.
Yeah.
So they're not getting more intense, they're not getting more regular, they just come and go, come and go. Every time I go for a walk or I'm out and about, I get them and I have to like stop
the fake
and breathe.
contractions, yeah.
And the moment I get home, it stops. So I was bouncing on the ball. So from 34 weeks, I was ready for him to come. That made it very long, waiting until 37 weeks, because I think I went for my 33 or 34 week scan and they were like, the head's down there, you're 2 centimeters dilated, baby's coming. And I was like, whoop.
Alrighty.
So literally,
I'm ready.
Yeah, we sorted everything. I was like, baby's coming any day now. We're going to have a preg baby. Like, I bought the formula, I bought the bottle, like the preg bottles. I was like, this baby's going to need some help, because he was tiny as well. Like,
Yeah.
He wasn't
Imagine
nearly,
how tiny he would have been.
Yeah, I wasn't nearly like, he wouldn't have been a good weight.
Yeah,
being
yeah.
like
How it was.
Yeah, the contractions just like came and went, never progressed. Same as with Ayla, but that was just 3 days. So after going through this for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was getting a bit worried. I was just like, why is nothing happening? I was getting so
now it's
frustrated.
round 2.
And because it's round 2, I was like, this is probably not going to happen. Then it was a Sunday that I went to the mall with Ayla, met up with my sister-in-law, and then when I said bye to her to go to the car, I just felt so weak. Like I got a headache, I was shaking in the mall, like I just stop at Starbucks, get like a bagel and water, and I couldn't walk to the car with Ayla, I couldn't carry her, I was shaking like a leaf.
I actually had that throughout my pregnancy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like maybe it's like sugar levels.
Yeah, I think it is sugar levels.
And I was actually
or
had
blood
that,
pressure.
yeah, in my first trimester with Ayla, when I was still training a lot, that my sugar and blood pressure dropped at the same time.
Yeah, same.
And my
Oh
heart
my
rate
God,
dropped.
same. Yeah.
And that was,
And you would just get like, you almost go pale in a way, and you have to sit down.
I went to go and sit down, and then I passed out. And that was quite weird, because apparently when you stand, it makes more sense, but when you're sitting and passing out, then there's something's
up.
But the doctor explained it kind of was like your body was like resetting itself, because my resting heart rate dropped quite far, and I was like, I lost the baby, that's it. Like, I knew this was too good to be true, I thought it was over, and then they're like, no, baby's fine.
Like as a mom, your mind just travels to different dimensions.
First trimester, you're never sure. You bump your toe and you're like,
I'm done.
So that Sunday, I just felt so weird. So then I made it home and I fell asleep for about 2 hours. So I was like, okay, maybe I was just really
like your body
tired.
was.
Yeah, but I wanted to call my gynae. I was like, I'm not feeling okay. But then I was like, oh, it's a Sunday. I feel like such a loser.
And what if it's
falling
nothing?
on a Sunday and there was nothing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow morning and then I'll decide. So the morning I called her, she's like, okay, coming for a check again Monday around 1 a.m. Similar to what I had with Ada, and I didn't tell anyone. Like I literally left.
Because now last time you told everyone.
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't. So Ayla was sick at home.
Oh, hectic.
She was in hospital that Thursday morning. She had like a respiratory infection. So she was still at home. Usually she would be at school.
Yeah.
So she was with the nanny on Monday. And I didn't even tell the nanny. I was like, I'm just gonna pop out. It's all like a tracksuit. And I was just like, my hospital bag's been in the car
the whole
from
time.
Like 34 weeks. My bag's been packed, baby's car's been packed, our baby's bag's
So you
been
were
packed.
going to the hospital?
Yeah.
Like,
I drove
you
myself
labour?
to the hospital. No, but that
Told no one?
No one. Because everyone was
And
like,
were you in labour?
No.
So it was a false alarm.
It was.
Kind of.
Yeah, so when I got to the hospital and she came in and she checked and she said, okay, you're 3 centimeters. So now from 34 weeks to 37 weeks, I've only like increased 1 centimeter, but the contractions keep coming and going. And then she asked me, like, listen, should we just get this over with? Like, baby is ready.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't feel him from Sunday to Monday.
Oh my
And that
God,
freaked out.
that is.
Yeah, both my kids were super active kickers. Like I felt them from 15 weeks and I felt them all through the night, all through the day, and I didn't feel him from Sunday. That freaked me out as well. So that's also why I went in. So I told her, I'm not feeling him, I'm feeling weak, I'm feeling dizzy. And my blood pressure came back fine, so I was like, we don't know what's going on. And then she gave me the option, like, should we just like, do you want to be induced again? And I was like, get this over with. Because like I said,
so was it the same gynae that you had the first time?
Yeah,
that's cool because she knows you.
Yeah, I have to say again, like both by the end of my pregnancies, I think it was literally my anxiety that couldn't put me in active labor. I was
it's
as
funny,
calm
it's
as I
crazy
could
how your
be,
body...
but so I hated the unknown.
Yeah.
I didn't want a C-section, but I'm more like the C-section type of like, I'm going to the hospital now. And my
That
baby's
day,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so now I arrived at 1 p.m. and she's like, we are a little bit worried because baby's not moving.
Yeah.
You're not feeling great. He is big enough. I think at that point we thought he was going to be like 3 kgs.
Okay.
Like we thought it's okay for him to come out now. Do you want to be induced? And I was like, let's do it. Like, because I had that fear of they're going to break my water and everything's going to be like green again.
Yeah.
So then I think it was 1 p.m. and this time they did like a little gel down there. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but the contraction started like this. So with Ayla, I needed like 5.
Wow.
This time she literally like, I feel like she touched me and it was like,
like the magic touch.
contraction started. So Jade was at work, luckily also in Stellenbosch.
Okay.
I was at Stellenbosch Hospital. And so I just WhatsApped him like, baby's coming today. Like you need to come to the hospital, but I'm only getting induced now. So like take your time. 10 minutes later, this guy comes in sweating, like he thought baby's like almost out already. And I'm like, no, like I didn't mean like baby's coming now, like baby's coming today. But he was like, and I was still sitting there like, where are you running to? So then they said, okay, we want to take you, we need to break your water. And I was like, whoa, I'm going to stop you right there. That hurt a lot last time. I want the epidural first. Like my whole birth plan was just epidural. Like that's the only reason I'm here. It's the only reason why I will induce and do anything. Before you touch me, epidural first. So then there was this whole mix up with the food as well. I haven't eaten since the morning because I didn't feel well. They brought the food and they said, okay, but you have to come for epidural. And then that nurse told me you can come back and eat. And then when I got it, they were like, no, you can't eat. You can't eat when you get epidural. So it's like a whole day of not eating anything. Anyway, so got the epidural, they broke the water, everything was clear. So false alarm, like I was panicking too much. But I was expecting because I was feeling so sick that it was going to be green again and I didn't want to
But I think
be
it's
a
also
stubborn
like
person.
anxiety and fear. I mean, this is what you experience, and that was traumatic. It has like a traumatic... And it's not just that it's green, it's like it can affect you and can affect the baby.
It did make her birth a little bit more traumatic. And I think because I felt guilty for not
going sooner last year.
Yeah, for not going sooner. This time I was like, let's do this, and then it was actually too soon. But it's fine, it was fine. Traction started, we were like, cool, like, let's go. I was already 4 centimeters at that point, so I was already faster than with Ayla.
Yes.
Like baby was coming today. Then I dilated very quickly, I think 6, every time they checked it was like 7 centimeters, 8 centimeters.
Like it's going.
Like, it's going fast. And they literally just had to put that gel on, like they didn't do anything else.
So I think he probably would have come soon anyway, like it was...
So he was also very low, and I think it's maybe your body recovers
actually.
from the outside, having pregnancy so close together, but I think like my organs was still kind of weird.
Yeah, so they were like sitting right
Both
there.
heads on that cervix.
Yeah,
Taylor was just
same.
the wrong way around, but the girls was like perfect. Head on the cervix, and he was, I think that's what started the contractions
Yes.
the whole time, because his head was pushing on it, but not hard enough because
Yeah.
it was too light. I don't know. Or like, I don't know how
Whatever,
it works
however
exactly.
it works, yeah.
Not like factual information here, all theory, but contraction started, was all good. Like, again, living my best life, WhatsApping my mom, organizing food for her, she's gonna go to her. And then I started feeling contractions, and I was like, ooh, okay, but I like that feeling. I
Yeah.
like that feeling of being able to feel something.
Yes.
Like with Ayla also, I never asked for more. I wanted to feel the contraction, but
To know
not
that
the
they-
pain.
yeah.
Where this time I was like, okay, I'm feeling something now, cool, it must be like,
Go
you
time.
know, working. Then every contraction gets stronger and stronger,
Yeah.
and then it's like breathing
Yeah.
through it heavily, and I was like, okay.
Did you have your epidural yet? No.
Yeah, the epidural was like at 1 p.m. already. Just like 3 p.m.
Okay.
No, the epidural's been working the whole time, but then the contractions is getting stronger and
Yeah.
stronger. Then I asked them, can they top it up? I think it was something, probably not milliliters, but it was on 15, and then they bumped it up to 20. Contractions are getting more and more
Yeah.
and more. And then I asked again, made no difference. So now I stopped panicking.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the actual?
It's hardcore. Like
So I don't know
That
how
pain.
your contraction was, but I felt like my hips were breaking.
Yeah.
I had bone pain. Like
Yeah.
I felt like this
like
was
it's
the pain.
dislocating or something.
Yeah, I
like
felt like my hips were
yeah.
dislocating. So I was lying on my side, like trying to keep my hips together.
Yeah.
I am breaking. Like I don't remember ever feeling anything in my stomach, like contraction wise, or
No, it's all here.
it was all
Yeah.
hips. I felt like my hips were breaking. Nurses had tea and biscuits in the other room. Paid me no attention. They were kind of like,
It's like they
the
see it every
school's
day.
being
And
so dramatic. Oh my gosh. Like, can you just calm down? They never said it though.
Yeah, but you
But
could feel it.
I was pushing on that help button. Help me, help me, help me, help me. It's like I need more, like the epidural's not working. So I'm like holding onto this wire because I thought maybe I moved too much and
Yeah.
I pulled it out, because now with the contractions, I'm literally like,
Yeah, I know. Oh,
Animal
there's nothing
style.
like
I couldn't get off the bed, but I was like holding, like rolling
I'm
on the
literally
chest.
feeling that pain.
Yeah.
As you say.
Holding on to JD. And the only thing I remember during labor from him was saying, you can hit me, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think I started hitting him at some point, but I was literally like, my hips, I can't, like I can't do this. And I think I didn't know how many centimeters I was, so I was thinking like, the worst is still to
Yeah,
come. So
yeah.
I checked out at that point. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like I can't do this. I tried to convince everyone in that room and myself, I can't do
Yeah.
this. Like it's done. And it's so frequent. Both my children actually at the end, the contractions were so on top of each other
Yeah,
that you
same.
actually can't catch your breath. Like the contraction stops and you go, and the next
Then
one
it's
stops.
again.
Yeah, like you feel like you're drowning.
I literally feel like I'm going red.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little
It's
bit
like when you surf and the waves keep like hitting you down.
No, I
down,
know.
you're, like in that sand and you can't breathe. So that's how it felt. And
I also
I was
wanted
like,
epidural.
what did I
think
do wrong? Like I thought this again was like my
Yeah.
fault. Like what did I do? I walk in and out, they check the thing, they're like, there's nothing we can do. And then they said something about we'll call another anesthesiologist, and then I started screaming. Like if you that people
Yeah.
but I was screaming like, I'm dying! Like I was literally screaming the hospital down. I can never show my face there again. I can never show my face there again.
I'm dying.
And everyone
It does feel like death in that
Yeah.
moment. So, like
Everyone else in the
I got
hospital, like every other person that was giving birth, I would need to go and apologize, be like, I'm sorry for traumatizing you, because I screamed that hospital. It's the only way I could get through the contractions.
Yes,
And they
yeah.
say don't scream.
Yeah.
Hum, push down, moo sounds. That all went out the window.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was holding that red button in. I was like, help me. Like, you need to do something. You can't just let me die here. Like, I need help.
Then how long after that?
Because I think they also thought we have a rough day ahead of us.
Yeah.
Like if this girl's screaming now already,
Yeah, like
oh
what's
my goodness, we need to go like strengthen ourselves for what's coming. By the time she like rolled in there and she was like, okay, fine, I'll check her. They were like, oh, here's the head. And I was like, I was telling you. And I think that moment everyone started taking me seriously. Then they started
That's the
coming
thing
in.
that's so annoying. Like
They're
why
wait
don't
for
they
the
listen?
head. They didn't listen. They were like, they just thought I'm being very dramatic.
Dramatic, yeah.
And I was.
That's what they thought of me
But
too.
the baby was there, like that hip pushing is like the head going through the
Exactly.
birth canal, like it's
Exactly, you
making space.
know, yeah.
Then they changed their story quite quickly and everyone came in, and I don't remember if the guy was there.
Don't you think it's like that moment just becomes a blur?
Yeah.
Although it's like a moment that somehow traumatizes you
If
slightly.
you block it out.
That's block it out, yeah, it's a choice.
You're built to like block it out.
Good point. Maybe I should go see someone.
I think we have a lot of trauma here. Suppressed.
Oh my word.
But again, when they said, okay, now you need to push, I was like, I can't do it. I'm dying. Like, I can't, there's no strength left in me to push. And they were like, just, you have to.
But
And
how
I think,
painful is it?
yeah. But that point felt like relief though. I think once his head was through my hips, it was fine. But yeah, one push head, second push shoulders, third push baby out. It was also again very, very quickly.
Yeah.
No episiotomy, no vacuum, no tear. No, actually they did use the vacuum again. They used it for like a split second, and then on my birth card it says like vacuum delivery, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. I went to lie myself. I did it. I promise I did it. So it's like a split second again. I never saw the thing. I don't remember it, but apparently that's what it was.
It's so crazy how like I'm just thinking like between the two of us, 4 births. All natural, but all so different.
Even between the two babies. Eh?
Yeah.
No, so he was 2.8, but they like plopped him on my chest.
Yeah.
They all left the room. They were kind of like, cool.
You do your thing.
You do your thing. It's your second baby, right? And so even though he was smaller than Ayla, his birth was healthier.
Yeah.
My recovery was
quicker.
Instant. Yeah. I just remember after they took him to go have him weighed with Jade again, I sat upright on the bed.
Fine.
I have like selfies of this because I was just like,
what's happening?
Happened? But the pain was gone.
Yeah.
Like I never.
Don't you think your second dose of epidural maybe only kicked in then?
Maybe, yeah. Or I also think maybe
like
this wasn't even full labor. Like maybe my epidural was working, but not to the full extent. Because then I would be really embarrassed if I screamed that loud and it wasn't. So I'm just going to make myself feel better and say the epidural did not work at all. Because it was really painful.
So there's your failed epidural.
Yeah, I did think about it afterwards because I felt so,
confused.
Like nothing. But they, literally just took the needle out and I walked. Like I had no numbness.
Absolutely.
So from the moment he left the vagina, left the womb, I didn't take a pain tablet. I could walk normally. I had more like stomach bruising. Where you feel like you need to wear like soft pants. But down there, I mean, the hospital stay was like a holiday when you had a toddler at home. So I was like embracing every second. I was not ready to go home. But when I did go home, I had friends over straight away. We walked over to the shopping center across the road, went to go get sushi, came back. Next day, went for a walk at the beach. I felt like I could run.
Do you feel like it's because it was your second child? Like maybe your body was still, because our babies were born so close together. However, now that I think of it, I think I actually took longer to recover with Noah the second time. Yeah. I mean, goodness, I keep mixing my kids up.
with Hayes.
Yeah. But I think that was also like overall experience. Like I was like, what just happened?
Episiotomy with Ayla was quite bad. I'm not gonna lie. I had like 14 days of pain medication, and that's why the second time I was more open to C-sections, because I thought natural birth was like this. You pop the baby out, you climb off the bed and you walk away, where with Ayla it was quite a shock for how long I was in pain for because of the episiotomy. And I knew friends that had C-sections that wasn't in as much pain as I was.
Like everybody is so like actual bodies. I mean, not like everybody.
Everybody.
But like speak to anyone and they 5 people that had a C-section, and each one of their experiences are so different. And their healing and just everything. Like
the second time,
crazy.
2 days later, I feel like I could go for a run. And also with Ayla, I bled for 6 weeks, and with him, nothing really.
Yeah, that was the opposite for me.
Period, but
not bad.
I bought like packs of maternity pads, and never used them. I still
have them in it.
Yeah, I never used them. And
oh my word. So a tip to all you new moms there would be like, trust the process. It's so unpredictable. You can never truly prepare or be prepared or plan nothing. Like go with it.
The body's gonna do what it's gonna do.
Exactly.
We'll just stay for the ride.
Yeah. Just embrace the journey. Cool. So yeah, guys, that was our first video. We'll have a lot more videos coming through with all our crazy experiences between the 3 toddlers and 1 baby. So click the link to subscribe, and we'll see you soon.
Don't forget to like.